those blinds. That looks like teeth that
You can see our light ring.
Oh my god.
All right, first of all, let's just get one thing straight here, okay? This is not a date. This is a friend.
Is this a production?
This is a production meal. This is a work meal. A work.
It's a twofer.
A twofer? I don't know what that means. And that's important to bookmark.
Thank you for joining us. Let's grab hands and pray.
Holding your hand. Okay, so I hope this isn't like gross sounding on the microphone, like chewing. To intro this podcast, we are just doing a little bit more of a casual feel, casual vibes, where
We just feel like this would be an ideal environment to be able to just talk and like create some good content.
yeah, and just more natural rather than just super planned. Because there's going to be some of y'all watching and there's going to be some of y'all listening.
And y'all going to be thinking.
And y'all going to be thinking
that there's something here. And there is. There's a podcast. And single shouldn't suck. But
Exactly.
no, we're not dating, but we are literally here on a mutual mission to be able to highlight some of the topics that I feel like singles struggle with.
Yeah. And one of those could be navigating friendships between guys and girls.
How do you do that? Is that possible?
How do you do that?
Well, stay tuned.
You order Thai food. No, this is rare. I will say it's really rare for like two people, a guy and a girl. It's rare for me to be able to be comfortable with a guy.
But you do feel comfortable, and that's maybe the difference. Because you know we've communicated where we're at.
Exactly.
So.
And that's the key, is that we've been super honest and very communicative and confrontational in a good way. And yeah, it just like works. When you're able to meet someone and don't assume that you are gonna instantly feel that way with a guy or a girl that you want to be friends with, or that you just instantly hit it off with and you're like, oh my gosh, she's like my new best friend. You have to communicate those things.
Can I be open about one of the things that you communicated earlier on with me?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go.
No secrets. I'm an open book.
All right, so if this doesn't make it, you know that she's editing things. No, I'll leave it in the comments. No, I know that I'm naturally this Ninja Warrior challenger. You know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
And I naturally love challenging people. It's what I do. But for Esther, she opened up about at the end of one of our original segments. She said, hey, I feel like when you challenge me, sometimes it could make me feel excluded and singled out. And it's more of like an intimate thing. Not that you meant it to be that way, but I feel like when you single me out, I'm more guarded. And I'm only open to that when I know it's like some sort of a close friend or a relationship. And she was just letting me know that's how it made her feel, even though she knew my intent. It was just something to know for me, not to stop being me, but to know that, okay, when I want to challenge somebody, maybe just be aware of it.
Yeah.
And, so I don't know, like I respected you for being able to tell me that. So I have an idea.
Yeah. And I don't think guys typically know that, because a lot of guys that I've met that, are awesome, super fun to hang out with, but can be a little bit more crossing certain boundaries that they don't even know exist. And that's just a communication thing between guys and girls, because guys don't realize that some of their actions or the type of attention that they're giving you, and girls do this too, but types of selective attention can come across as making that person feel like, like I said, a little bit like you're crossing an intimacy boundary. And so I think it's good to know that about yourself and know what those boundaries are for you and whatever friendships you're entering into, but then communicate it. Because if I hadn't said it, then I would just be...
I would have had no idea.
I probably would be like...
Passive aggressive?
No, I'm usually not passive aggressive, but sometimes I can be. But I think we just harbor it and then we build more walls. And I didn't want to build more walls with you, because we're doing this. We want to be
able to affect everything we do.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to accomplish the mission, which is to bring freedom to everyone that's listening who is in this season and wants to build healthy connections with people, wants to build healthy relationships. And it doesn't have to be weird. It's only weird if you make it weird. He makes it weird a lot.
I think it's funny.
It's great.
And she laughs.
No, I do laugh.
Laugh.
Super great.
See, even if it's fake laughing, it makes me feel good.
Okay. Where are we going with that?
I thought maybe an example of crossing boundaries that maybe not many people think of. I think that would be a good segue. I mean, this isn't the best example, but it's like, hey, if you guys are just friends and you take your shirt off, like I'm talking about, like a guy who takes his shirt off doing some things.
Yeah,
that may be nothing for him
right now.
Yeah, I know, because I was hot earlier, man. I was just stinking hot in this place. We got all these lights, the ring lights.
I'm cold.
To get the right lighting.
Yeah.
And I run very warm. So I'm used to like ice baths, things like that. But I'm warm right now, but I know my boundary is I'm going to wear this sweater because
keep it on.
I have a shirt under here, but we filmed earlier today. Oh, well, you know, well, see, I don't like to hide anything. We filmed earlier and we figured, by the way, if you're watching this, you'll know that we sometimes have to improvise. And I had a sweater and she says, if we're going to do a second episode, you better wear something different. So here I am, suffering for you guys, doing it. This is my sauna.
Wow. Yes.
But I would not take my shirt off because that's just not a healthy boundary. I would normally do it with my guy friends or somebody like my sister, somebody like that, but it's not the right boundary. So
we say all that to say, please stop harassing me about our friendship because it's so beautiful. I think it's so great. Why can't we be satisfied? Why can't we just be satisfied with recognizing, wow, this is what a gift.
Yeah.
What an awesome gift to be able to grow in relationship and friendship with guys and girls in our season of singleness and not feel like if that was something that we wanted to pursue, we would. We wouldn't be sitting here right now like filming a podcast. We'd be on an actual date with no camera. But that's like, you have to, I think that's really good too I think a lot of single people can relate to feeling pressured to be interested in people that they might not be interested in, or like even pursue something that they don't feel a release or like a desire to. That's okay. And it's okay to be in a friendship and just really enjoy it and be satisfied with that and not feel weird about that.
I know a lot of guys have talked to me about like them not knowing how I can have healthy friendships with women and not naturally think, okay, is this going to be in a relation? Is this a relationship or not? Because if it's not, I'm moving on.
Right.
And if they like somebody, they have to be all in for a relationship.
Got it.
You can have a balance. And I know I've been able to live my life like that. And it's so amazing. And you can look at somebody as somebody who's literally like a sister, you know, but it takes having proper boundaries. So it's great. But here's the thing. People can judge all they want. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We just like believe in communication. And thank God we all have the freedom to pursue whatever relationship we want. And we all pretty much have nobody to account to. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you are the man or woman you are when you're behind closed doors. What do you do? So you can be real with that, which I'm just saying, we're just saying, hey, this is what it is. But, you know, I want to be free. If this was a relationship, I'd say it. You know, I have nothing to hide. You have nothing to hide.
I'm hiding a lot right now.
You're hiding a lot. I know.
My mouth is burning. Spicy. It's very spicy.
This is spicy. You want to try it?
I might start crying, but it's not because of the topic. It's
because it's so hot in here.
It's getting hot in here. Okay, speaking of going on a date, I did go on a date this past weekend.
Oh, you did? Really? Oh, since when did you tell me that?
Do I answer to you now?
No, you didn't tell me that. No. I thought we communicated everything.
No, that would be weird.
Wait, so did you, I mean, okay, here's the thing. Is that person possibly going to be watching this?
If you are, we've already communicated. Okay, so here's what happened. It was a second date.
Okay, cool. Oh, wow.
It was, it was cool. It went well. It was like, actually, he's such a great guy. And,
figuring things out.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I figured it out. No,
okay,
it's
cool.
like, I think that if you're curious about someone, you should always say yes to a date, even if you're not initially like, you know, speechless. You're not always going to be. And I think that it's important to give people time to like show them who they are. And so then we had a great first date, and then we went on a second date. And on the second date, I mean, I went into it kind of just open-minded and just trying to see who is this person, but I wasn't feeling a romantic connection, you know? And so I think that that's important to allow yourself the freedom and not feel like, oh, they're such a good person. You know, I really wish I felt that way. I was like, man, why can't I just like this one? You know, let's be done with this. It's like such a horrible way to look at it, though.
Right.
You don't want to.
But you're being real with how you feel.
But you don't want to make yourself feel like you're settling, and you also don't want to make that other person feel like they aren't good enough.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like, I was in a relationship, and I think my intent in a relationship is to find out, is this meant for marriage? Not to ask them on the first date, do you want to marry me? But that's my intent when I'm in a relationship. Okay, this has the potential for marriage.
But you start off getting to know them as a friend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I meant like it's the pursuit is not to just, I just want to date because it's just fun and eventually I'm not. You have to see the potential for marriage even if you don't know it. But if you know, what I mean by this is if you know there's no chance of marriage, you have no reason to be in that relationship, in my opinion. Does that make sense? Like, I know people where they're like, no, I'm not going to get married ever. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Do they know that? And, or do they know that? And I'll ask somebody like, hey, are you possibly thinking of marriage? Oh, no. Does that person know that?
Well, like, maybe like the active thought of marriage. What do you keep kicking?
I don't know.
The storage.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. You got that? Your cymbals for your drum kit? Is that... Okay. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. The active thought of marriage might not be in someone's mind initially while they're dating, but if you're in a committed relationship, you call yourselves boyfriend and girlfriend, of course you're thinking, I'm getting to know this person for the intent of marriage. Maybe I don't know all of the things about them yet that, that I'm looking for in a person, but you see the potential there. And that's very important to have at the onset of a relationship, but you don't need to know you're going to marry them yet.
And that was the thing for me in the pursuit of this one relationship. I got to a point where I didn't know. And I think there is a point for me, there's like a timeline where I think if you don't know by a certain amount of time, that's your answer. And that was a very hard choice for me, where I got to the position where this was my best friend. I loved her. I said that to the best of my ability, what love was. Yeah. But I didn't feel that peace about marriage. So I'm like, God, what do I do? And I was just praying throughout this time. And eventually I really got a peace that if I didn't have it and I didn't see that changing and moving toward that direction of it growing, then it was a no. Now, here's the thing. During that time, I'm like, God, this is my best friend. Like, this is horrible. Nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
What do I do? I said, God, I'm giving this up to you. And if I'm making the worst decision of my life, I'm trusting that you'll bring it back, but I got to fully let it go, almost like a sacrifice. So I had to be willing to let go of my best friend because I knew the future of the relationship, it wasn't going in that direction, even though it was my best friend. That was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, especially in a relationship, because nothing was wrong. I did not feel like doing that. Everything was perfect, except I didn't have a peace about marriage, and I let that go. Soon after, God clarified that it wasn't meant for marriage. And it's not that, God has somebody better for me. No, it was that God had somebody different for me. God had somebody different for her, and it was confirmed. And I don't ever want to throw under the bus. There was a mutual, we both actually, during that time, we prayed over each other. We just spoke life into each other. We just encouraged each other and said, look, I'm never going to speak negative about you, but it wasn't meant to be. I didn't see it in that direction. That's a hard thing.
Yeah, that is hard.
So, but anyway, we have to be looking at the future.
Why do you feel like you didn't see it leading to marriage?
I mean, there were a few dynamics in the relationship that were pretty big. I mean, this happened twice for different reasons. Okay. One is, this is very raw and real. So for me, one of my relationships, I just felt like the primal instinct of a guy is to pursue. I didn't have that natural instinct to pursue.
So why did you start the relationship if you didn't?
Because it was great. This was a godly woman. She was awesome. Interesting. Started off asking me a few questions about some things, started talking, and then I was just like, wow, this person's really amazing. And then after a few months, I'm like, I don't know, should I be open-minded like to a relationship? And then I was like, wow, this person's really amazing, and let's just give it a go.
Were you attracted to her?
Not in the way, here's the thing. It grew, but not in the way I felt like you needed to be attracted to your spouse. And that
be able to make babies.
Yeah, you know.
That's important.
But and it that's a tough thing, but it's like I've also had other situations where somebody I was extremely attracted to, but yet they didn't have that foundation of a solid faith base, so that when I make a mistake, I know she's not acting on her feelings. She's going to be on her knees or talking like to the Lord, just in full submission. That's what I mean by knees, just like an attitude of just like, God, what do you want me to do? I feel like leaving. Because a lot of successful marriages, they'll tell you they wanted to leave, but they didn't. They were committed. Yeah. I want to know that my future spouse or girlfriend will go to her girlfriends that are solid, which is another good thing to find out about somebody, find out who their closest friends are. Yeah. Those are the people that are going to be giving them advice. Are they pointing to God, who I believe is the most loving, fair God? Or are they going to be going to like, oh, you don't need that, you deserve better, when there's maybe grace that needs to be extended? So anyway, those are my thoughts.
Thank you for sharing that story.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's very vulnerable, honestly.
Yeah. It's raw and real.
It is very raw and real. It's hard to share about past relationships sometimes, especially when you love that person as a person, and yeah, you appreciate the time that you had with them, and you appreciate the part of the journey that they were a part of. And it's hard to sometimes acknowledge the failures, or not failures, but just mistakes that we can make, or the things that we just had to learn the hard way. And that's okay too. But it's great. It's great to be able to even share about it like that. I wonder how many people are watching or listening that actually can talk about an ex in that same light of giving them grace and honor, and not being like, well, like, I'm too good for them, or there's someone better for me. There's so much more freedom when you can walk in that sense of, wow, no, it's just like we parted ways, and you still want the best for them. You really do. And hopefully you don't, say things that damage that relationship. That's honestly my intent. Whenever I'm open to a relationship, I want to make sure that at the very end, even if it works out, great. If it doesn't, I want to know that that woman is thinking, wow, that was a man of integrity. Yeah. Like, he was a solid person. He wasn't meant for me, but I don't regret that experience because I learned something. And oddly enough, hey, any guys or even women can relate to this. You date somebody, you almost got them ready, because the very next relationship they're in, they get married. Gosh. And you're like, man, it would be great to get to know. I feel like I have like a bachelor's degree in that. You do? I have. Like, you get with somebody and then all of a sudden they've learned everything and they get married. Like happily ever after. I have a ministry of these like little stragglers coming to me. Oh my gosh. That's why I'm the guy that's going to heal them and interview and find out if there's any stragglers, to just say, hey, look, this is a straggler. You've been down here. You don't need to do it again. I don't know, man. You don't know that they're a straggler at first. At least I don't. I don't know. I'll read their profile and be able to tell. I'm a guy, I know. They most of them don't even have Instagram. He doesn't want long walks on the beach. He says that because it gets to you. I don't go. He doesn't enjoy art. You have me all wrong. I do not go for that type. I go for the baddie. What is your type? That's the problem. The baddie? I like baddies. Yeah. Wow. All right, this is good. So, what is your type? What is your type? You mean the baddie? Like, I mean, seriously. No, I like guys that are, and that's such a broad question, right? I don't know that people necessarily need to hear this. I think they do. Do you guys want to hear this? I want to hear this. I think this is great. What's your personal type? Like, what do you, not like everything, but like what, if you can classify it into something, like what are your top 5 qualities that you look for? I think that's a great thing. Yeah. Come on. Humor, that's a good question. Humor, humility. That's so attractive in a guy when he can be humble. So the 5 H's. 5 H's. Humble, humor, happy, that's it. Hot, 2 T's, and Hispanic. Horny. Just kidding. That's my type. But I am, and you would agree with this, I am a very secure person and independent in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And so I need someone first podcast, independent woman. A lot of people commented on that. I need someone that can put me in my place. Let's just be honest. Strong personality. Who's not intimidated by you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not intimidating, because most guys are. And then I end up in these relationships where
you're the mom.
I am the mom.
Yeah, that's from lack of good leadership. That's the biggest flaw, I think, in today's day and age. Men want moms because they don't get the things that they need from God or from a healthy family. A lot of people lack that. If you don't, you're going to have legitimate needs being met from people that could never fill it or not supposed to,
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah, I'm not trying to nanny the guy that I date.
Yeah. You don't, yeah.
Let's leave that up for, their childhood. If you should have already been raised at that point, if you're dating.
A great book for me, and I think for you too, is the Eldridge's books, like Wild at Heart, What Guys Pursue, What They Look For.
That book changed my life.
That one in particular, right? Getting a man's perspective and then Captivated? Captivating, that's right.
Great books.
Yeah, by Lisa Eldridge. Is that right?
I have no clue.
His wife.
Stacy.
Stacy, yes. Okay, cool. Thank you. Lisa Bevere.
Yeah, got him. Okay, what's your type?
No, we don't have time. But now that we know that...
you put me on the spot.
Yeah, you
had to be on the spot.
No way. I was already vulnerable in basketball.
Way.
Definitely, I want the foundation of being spiritually on the same page.
Yeah. We know that.
So that's number one.
Mm-hmm. She has to quote how many scriptures?
Oh my gosh, no, that's horrible.
15 on the first date.
At least, as long as it's just at least one less than what I can do.
One less, okay.
So if she can know
feel
5,
more superior,
then she's probably more superior, So, yeah, I don't know many. I'm just actually, honestly, working on trying to be aware of like some of the good wisdom that's in the Bible. So she likes to make fun of me. That's okay. All right. So same faith, sense of humor, and that I would identify as like chemistry, like. Are we having the same chemistry? She's laughing at the jokes or is she not? Does she make me feel valued or not? I honestly feel like that goes with chemistry.
Okay.
The next one is, does she treat everybody the same? That's a big one for me. I think that's probably second for me.
Guys always point this out, and maybe sorry to interrupt, but they are always asking me, I've gotten this question a lot, is how do you treat, they give me this hypothetical. Say a waitress or waiter comes up to your table and they gave you the wrong food or something like that. Something's wrong. What do? They always want to know how you treat a waiter or waitress. They want to know
funny.
How it goes.
That's like my example.
Really?
Yeah. I use the example of being at a restaurant and...
A real life example that this happened to you?
No, but I literally thought of this example in a restaurant. So if I'm out with someone and a waiter accidentally... We're on a date, and then she accidentally, the waitress or waiter accidentally drops red wine on her white dress. How is she going to react? Not that she has to be perfect, because that stinks. It could have been a nice event we're getting ready for, but regardless, it was an accident. How long is she going to allow that to steal her joy for the rest of the evening? Because it'll give me, honestly, a picture of how is she going to deal with unknowns, with having kids or whatever. And that's for me too. How am I going to react to that? I don't want to just expect that and not practice it myself. So when I'm in that situation, I want to be that same person and exercise patience. How quickly can I get over something, or how quickly can I apologize for overreacting or being impatient? So
attractive.
I actually look, this sounds bad, but if you understand my heart behind it, I really look forward to problems in a relationship. So then I know, how am I dealing with it? How is she dealing with it?
Do you facilitate?
I don't want it. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Spill something. You're just like, I'm so sorry. I ruined that dress of yours.
Oh no, I screwed. Yeah.
How switch? Oh, okay. That's how you react. All right.
Yeah, she's got some anger management issues. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. Now I see your style. Okay.
So I would say
simulate the experience of the emotional intelligence.
Just like the way I would meet that person, I would stage it and be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea you were here.
Tripped over, made her fall.
I'll say, Samantha, where are you? How did you know my name? And I'm like, oh, I have to abort because then I said too much.
And you ruined it. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, not true. So another couple quick things. What I look for is...
You only get 5.
That was 3 so far. Okay. Your tangents don't count as mine. What is her sense of adventure? Is she okay? I mean, I'm pretty extreme when it comes to different things, and I wouldn't expect her to have to do everything I love doing, but is she okay with knowing that I love doing these things, she's not holding me back from doing what I really am passionate about.
That's good. Yeah.
She can, like, somebody give me this example, like, Justin, you're this kite that wants to fly so high, and you need this woman who is able to allow you to soar up there, but every now and then she can like wind you down a little bit, but she's not holding you back. She's looking out for you. There's a balance so that, like, if I love surfing and she doesn't, she'll be maybe on the beach and say, hey, let's go there. That's awesome. I love watching you. And it's like, she loves being a part of it.
Right.
And she doesn't want to hold you back, or, hey, look, that doesn't interest me, but all these other things do. Why don't you go with some other people and do it? Yeah. There's trust there.
Right.
And she wants you to be free.
But that would never happen because you're too scared of sharks. So she'd probably be the one that was more into surfing than you.
Yeah. And that would help me step outside my comfort zone. And then it would be
works.
This person's meant for me. She'd be my helper. She'd fill in the gaps.
She'd fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great. Okay.
And the last, is that
physical?
Physical?
No, I'm sure you have a way long list.
Yeah. No, seriously. No, honestly, I don't. I tend to like lighter colored eyes, but that doesn't mean anything. Because if I have all this down, like her height, that, I think I would, lose track of what really matters. So, I mean, I'd like to know that she's active, that she can do different things with me, but maybe I'm meant to be somebody to encourage her. But she has to have a passion about doing adventurous things. And she has to be willing to know that she wants to take care of her temple, because that if you're going to raise kids, you need to be able to take care of it. We should steward that well, so I know that she will be in shape because she values that.
Wow. Awesome.
So, but that wasn't my fifth thing. I wasn't talking about the
description. Holler at your boy.
Just swipe up. Swipe up.
Swipe up and there's an application.
Answer question from Esther. She needs to know some of the questions you'd like to ask. The type, I would say, just in shape where she's able to do things and climb over rocks and do some of the things that I love.
That's your type? Is it in
she
shape?
She can climb. No, like enough to do things. She loves exploring, but if somebody can't climb over a rock, they're probably...
That's not a type necessarily.
It's not a type, but I'm just trying to describe being in shape.
Do you like
enough.
blondes? Do you like brunettes? Do you like just be like a normal guy?
I don't know. It can switch. It can switch. I haven't liked a redhead yet, but I thought it was brunettes, but then I've liked blondes, so I don't know.
Okay. You've dated both?
I've dated both, yes.
Well, there you have it. There's no type for Justin.
I don't know.
It sounds like you want to date an athletic, like nun.
Yeah. And a monk and a nun would go well. She wants me to be a monk. I think it would be really, but I don't want somebody to be so into fitness that it's their life. No way. I want them to know that they can enjoy things.
Just like a CrossFit class every now and then.
If they want, they don't have to do CrossFit.
Okay, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
If you're on a date with a girl, and she has something in her teeth, would you tell her?
I would tell somebody I don't know. I would. I would tell somebody I don't know if we're talking.
I would be mortified if I had something in my teeth and the guy did not tell me.
100%. Like, for those of you out there, spread that random act of kindness and tell somebody. But here's the thing. Here's the rule. You have to do it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because if you tell them at the very end, like if I just told you right now, hey, by the way, you have something in your teeth. Like, why didn't you tell me earlier? As soon as you notice it, that's when you have to say in secret, hey, But if you tried like 2-3 times and they don't get it, then you have an out to say at the very end, hey, by the way, you had something in your teeth. I tried to let you know 3 times. I had it on film. Right now. Anyway, just, be that person. I would definitely do that. Not only something in the teeth, but if they had a booger.
Oh.
If they had a booger, I would say, hey, you got something a little bit on the nose. Let me get it. No,
believe it or not, and this is so weird to me, maybe this is normal for guys, my ex literally would pick boogers out of my nose.
Yeah.
That's so gross.
It's called therapy.
It's so disgusting. It's therapy?
Like
I don't know.
Therapy.
It was like, I guess, cute after a while, but when the first time I did it, I'm like, what are you doing? You were invading my space. You
let him do it, but you're like, this felt weird.
Yeah.
Did you tell anybody about that? That's not okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I think this is great. I think it's so good for us to just kind of like let our hair down, be just ourselves in a session. What do we call these episodes?
Powwow sessions.
Powwow sessions, and just let y'all know that we are totally human, still love our singleness, but still have these moments where we're navigating friendships, we're navigating dating, we're navigating
figuring out what our types are,
and making life decisions. And we just even got done talking about a lot of Justin's goals and vision for his future. And it's just,
there's a lot of pressure.
There's no pressure.
There's a lot of things going on right now, and it's like,
it's great to, I think, just sit down and just have a conversation around the dinner table where you can be totally yourself and connect with those who are listening and may be able to relate to our story.
So honestly, my big ask from you guys is, if there was something that spoke to you, if you're listening to the entire thing, if something stood out to you, please just let us know, because it reminds us, okay, this is actually hitting in these areas. And when we start to see a theme, we can provide more of that content so it can help you out. So it's going to not only help us out, but it's going to help us provide more vulnerability or more research of things to talk about.
Yep, I love it. So also, if you could subscribe to the podcast.
Smash that subscribe button.
Leave a review.
Press that button. Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, which is really my channel.
Yes, it is.
But thank you guys so much for listening. And next time, y'all can join us at the dinner table.
See you later.